Yeah, so I feel like that's the lead up. As for the launch itself, I don't know, like I feel like this is one of the best launches in terms of like how clean everything was in a while. It felt like everyone who wanted a system got a system.
It did feel like that. I do think that they did a good job of meeting demand, which is good. It's been a while since consoles have been able to meet demand. I mean, even the original Switch didn't meet demand.
Yeah, like the original Switch, I don't have as much memory of, but like the PS5 and Series X and even the Steam Deck were all kind of a shit show.
Yeah.
Like they were all kind of a giant pain in the ass. Versus like I look at this thing where everyone I knew who wanted one got one.
Yeah.
Like it was
the ideal scenario.
It's nuts like considering all the news that was coming out around launch of this system.
Well, and the thing is that like Nintendo's I'm calling that the touch brass effect, where sentiment on the internet is not always reality.
Well, no, I'm just referring more to the tariff stuff.
Yes, and then the other part.
It did seem like that was going to affect supply, and it's nice that it didn't.
Yeah,
I guess they got it all out.
Yeah, like Nintendo said, like our plan to combat scalpers, and to be fair, on the Daily Show, we laughed our asses off at this. Our plan to combat scalpers is to produce 1 million bajillion units. There's gonna be so many units.
That worked. Everybody's got it.
I had a friend of mine be like, now, I missed all the pre-orders.
Not literally everybody has it, right? Because it is out of supply now in our area. Like, I think that the motivated audiences that would pay a scalper have all been served.
But I decided to look into scalped units in our area and a couple of my friends' areas. There's a lot of scalped units just sitting there at like pretty low prices. Like only like $100 over, which tells me this shit isn't moving. Like and there's a lot of them too. Like I had one dude selling at cost. Like, it was crazy. I was like, what the hell? I almost had to email him asking like, why are you selling at cost?
I bought it for my kid, but I hate them now.
Tell you. That's what happened at the Series X launch. Is I actually bought one on Fake at the flip marketplace for like $40 over cost, and the reason is because it was a Christmas gift, and he played it like twice, and he realized I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
So and I was busy working, but shout out to Stephanie for not having work at the time and being able to go to a sketchy Home Depot parking lot to make that happen.
Yeah.
So
do what you got to do.
Oh, shit. And you have a medallion now, right?
I'm trying it. There we go. All right.
So I think that they did a real good job with supply. I think even accessories, like you can you'll have to order them online. You can't go get them in person, but like last I was on Best Buy's website, like you can still order Pro controllers if you're willing to get it shipped. Same thing with a bunch of other stuff. As for our personal stories,
Best Buy tried to scam us. It was
Best Buy tried to scam us in multiple ways, and they still scamming. I have HR Ninja. I may or may not gotten 4. They're pretty easy to get. Yeah, I got an email from Nintendo today being like, "Yo, dog, do you want to buy another?" Like, I got the invite to buy one, so now I'm hitting up our Discord and friends and being like, "Anyone want one?" Nice. I got an order. You can get one.
I have a bunch of coworkers who didn't go until like Saturday, and none of them got it. But everybody else who wants one got one.
You snooze, you lose. Our Best Buy was a bad experience for a lot of reasons, and then I heard about what was going on at the GameStop down the road, and I was so pissed we didn't go to GameStop.
Yeah, they had a Smash tournament. They were jovial. The best thing we got was free pizza.
We got free pizza, chips, and Coke.
Look,
and a very
not from Best Buy, mind you. That was just a random person.
Oh,
just strangers.
Figures.
Just strangers doing that.
All right.
And Best Buy was supposed to give out commemorative coins, but they didn't.
Didn't do it.
Like we didn't get the special Switch 2 coins.
Lame.
I would have loved a commemorative coin. I like carrying coins on me.
I like weird niche pre-order collectibles. Like I loved my Metroid Prime 2 pre-order shirt until it eventually ripped.
Oh.
So yeah, like our Best Buy, like it was a real bummer because it did not feel like most midnight launches have kind of a party vibe, right?
Yeah.
But like ours was like as silent as a funeral outside of like the Best Buy employee that talked to us about Puyo.
I roll up 5:30. I'm off a shift at work. And I see Bronson sitting in his chair that he prepared ahead of time. And I come up and it's just complete dead silence. And me and Bronson talking is like the only noise that we hear for the next 2 hours.
You probably entertained a lot of people, to be fair. I would like to say.
Okay, here's a question I have. What do you think was the average age of the person in line?
It was on net higher than years past. I'd say probably 28 or 29.
Yeah, I would say like 27 to 29.
That's
like somewhere in there.
I don't know. They've done something terrible to us, is what I'm saying. Is we've been scarred by years past.
Look, I was bringing the average down. So in general, it felt like older to me.
Yeah, like I saw dudes I used to party with there. Yeah. And they're my age.
How are they doing?
Homie looked rough.
We've been through it in one way or another, man.
Comment in the chat. I'll get to that in a minute, Ninja, but yeah, same. But yeah, no, so like it was just like very unlively. And then I'm like, yeah, like people who were at the GameStops told me like, oh, that was lit. They were giving out T-shirts and like did a raffle for like a couple Switch games and like like they had conversation going and like it was loose. It was fun. I'm like, our line felt like a funeral.
It did. It was not great.
Like, I talked to one guy briefly in the front of the line, like that was ahead of us when I got there. And then that was kind of it.
Everything one thing they had was a lot of Switches. They had 80,
I'll take that.
That was like a lot.
That was not including pre-orders either. So
those 80 walk-in Switches.
And I can tell you from being in the Switch 1 line, there were probably about 160 people there. So that tells me everyone there was 160 Switches in that building.
Ooh.
So probably more because the next.
They end up coming out though. They end up coming out and giving us a piece of paper that has a bunch of custom bundles on it, as well as every accessory item. And they're like, mark what accessories you want. Clearly intending to see if they had enough accessories. And they just never bothered to collect the piece of paper. And then I only mark a Switch 2 Pro controller. That's the only thing I mark. And they've got the stuff on the back like buy this and it comes with Street Fighter and buy this and this bundle and this bundle, and it's all just you buying multiple things. It's not like a deal. It's just prompting you to buy multiple things.
It's just like here, make it. We will have it ready for you at the front of the line so we can make this line move quicker.
Right.
Which they didn't do because they didn't collect our sheets of paper asking if we wanted the bundles.
And the line also moved criminally slow.
Very
considering how ready they seemed to be. But
so then I get in there and I go, only thing I need is the controller. They hand me a box with a controller in it, and I go, sweet. And then I check out, and then same thing happens to Bronson. He's not even buying a Switch. He's just getting his accessories, and he goes,
I'm getting
sweet.
Yep. And then I get a controller. I get player Tetris, which they had to go look for. And then I got a memory card.
All right.
And then, we get home and I see a Discord message from Bronson. He's like, they gave me a fucking Switch 1 controller. And then I look at mine and I'm like, that's a fucking Switch 1 controller. That's not the Switch 2 controller.
Like, they should have at least told us. They should have been like, yo, we're out of Switch 2 Pro controllers. Those are all pre-ordered up.
And it wasn't like an accident because they charged us for a Switch 1 controller.
Yes, it's not. This was. Well, the annoying part for me is the next day I picked up a Switch 2 Pro controller because I had it pre-ordered. The reason I couldn't pick up my pre-order at Best Buy is because I was hanging out in line with Duncan, and Duncan was in the not pre-order line because he didn't have a system pre-order there, and mine was through Walmart. So, like, they told me, yeah, you'd have to go back in line in order. I was like, well, can I just buy the stuff then? They're like, yeah, sure. You have to go back in line to get your pre. I was like, okay, fine, I'll do that, and I'll just cancel my pre-orders. So, so the next day, during the next day, I go get, I'm on my lunch break, and I go out, and I'd be like, okay, and I return this. Because I don't want this thing, because I'm on a Switch 2 Pro controller because of all the improvements. And then can y'all also just put the credit towards this pre-order I have and a copy of Cyberpunk? And they're like, sure. And then today, guess what happened? I got charged separately for the Pro controller and Cyberpunk.
Cool. Great.
So I need to call Best Buy customer service tomorrow and be like, why did you charge me? Well, they charged me for the memory card because I didn't even pick up. And then they charged me for the full price of the Pro controller instead of the store credit I got.
Unreal.
And I was like, Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess the one bright side is they did have the Zelda amiibo. I didn't have to get pre-orders for those. So that was nice, I guess.
In my case, I went 2 days later for my Pro controller, and then they just went, sorry, we ain't got it. And the lady at the counter was like, yeah, you're not the only one this happened to.
I got a look from the guy who was like working the counter being like, another one.
Yeah.
Cool. So that guy at that particular Best Buy probably not in good shape. But as for retailers who didn't screw me over though, that I'm in a continued fight with. Oh yeah, and then they got me my amiibos, which I ordered way late, like the next day, but they didn't give me my case until yesterday. Yeah, my Switch 2 case. There you go.
Right. Well, God, what a fight.
So, everything seemed like we should have just went to GameStop.
Which is saying something. That's normally not the case.
Interesting.
Here's the GameStop still exists. We know where to go.
Yeah.
If you do want to get a Switch 2 Pro controller, they are available. Anyway, sorry, continue, Aaron.
No, you're good. I didn't do any of the midnight launch madness. I was just like, I need to go to work and then I'll come back later. And for a brief moment they didn't have it. They had a number on the wall, but I guess the one that was reserved for me was just given to someone else. And so then they had to do, I saw all the bundles there, so I was like,
did you also get your pre-order at Best Buy?
Yes.
Cool.
Yep.
Good. Best Buy living up to,
which is wild because Best Buy is usually solid for me.
Yeah.
Best Buy is usually fucking late for me. This is why this is so fucking shocking.
Yeah.
Like Best Buy is normally like on point, but they were like late to pre-orders, late to God. Just
It was very weird and
very strange.
Extremely.
So yeah, and then they gave it to me and they're like, you should really buy a warranty for this. The way they built these controllers. I was like, no, I'm good, dude.
My dog, I'm only using the Pro controller except for where I'm traveling, so you don't have to worry about this.
I've done this before where they've had their stick drift problems and shit, and it's like, you know what? I think they will know it's good business to fix this if this breaks on me because of their stupid bullshit.
Yeah, they've already confirmed. Nintendo's confirmed if you got stick drift, we'll fix it for free.
Yep.
Don't worry. So
it's because they've used updated technology for sticks. The same thing that like Xbox uses for its controllers, where it's impossible to get stick drift.
Yeah, like I know they're Hall effects, so they're not using the magnet sticks, but apparently these are of a higher quality as far as construction is concerned. So it's technically still possible, just way harder.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah. Okay. So I might be the weird one on this. I had 2 Switches, and I had no goddamn problem whatsoever with stick drift with either of them.
I got stick drift.
Yeah,
I've only ever had the one.
Yep.
And I played a lot of goddamn Switch.
Yeah, that's funny. I didn't play very much
on a flight to Tokyo, and then when I was in Tokyo, I bought new Joy-Cons because they were cheaper there.
That's hell yeah. That's how you do it. But no. So like, as for the day itself, Walmart. So in my case, I got mine at Walmart.
Yes.
Oh wait, Aaron. Sorry, were you done? Were you not?
Yes, I was done. That was it. I got everything I needed, and just the Best Buy experience was they had something, but it was weird. That's all.
Yeah, no. In the case of Walmart, shout out to Walmart because they promised 9 a.m. delivery.
Yep.
They got my console to my house at 6:36 in the morning.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
That's and not only did they get it to me at 6:36 in the morning, like I woke up to a text being like, "Your package has been delivered," because I normally get up around 7:20.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did I get that, they also gave me a bottle of Coke and a can of pizza Pringles.
Yeah, I was hearing they were doing that.
Switch.
I heard they did that.
And then apparently some people also got like wet wipes and some other things.
Which, you know, given those food choices, that's good. That's responsible.
Yeah. You know, good on your Walmart for that, I guess.
You 30-year-olds playing video games and eating Pringles and Coke. Here you go.
I got a Coke Zero. I'm a responsible 30-something.
Oh, I wish I had bought a soda before this stream. Got this monster. Be enough. Oh, finally, the half pipe I was looking for. Very good.
So, yeah, and then as for like the launch day boot up experience, I spent most of my day downloading shit.
Yep.
Because I was like, oh yeah, I want to get all my stuff fully moved over from Switch 1 before I like even worry about using this thing. And I did, and to be fair, like downloads were stopped because I would stop playing Mario Kart or to test certain games. But it basically took all day to get my entire Switch library, which I feel like for most people this is admittedly not going to be a problem because I feel like the vast majority of people don't own 70 Switch games. And if they do, and even if they do, I think that they are more than likely physical collectors, not of the. So I don't think that's a problem. How about you guys? First boot go well, get everything transferred pretty easily.
Yeah, it transferred just fine for me. It took a while because it's a lot of games. That's all.
Yeah,
what it is. I wish I could have I don't know. Maybe I could have, and I just didn't see the option. But I kind of wish I had a checklist at the front. So it's like, do you want to download this? Like, no, I'm not playing Splatoon 2 again. You don't have to download this.
Actually, it would be my first candidates for deletion. When I went through and was just like, oh, I only have 40 gigs of space left.
Yes,
because I had to go to less memory because my Switch 1 had 512 gigs of memory plus an additional 64 on the OLED itself. So going to less than 500 across the memory card in the Switch 2 Was not ideal. So I had to delete Resident Evil 4 because I was like, I'm probably never gonna play the original Resident Evil 4 ever again. And then I deleted Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 because it's frame capped at 30. So I was like, okay, not deleting Xenoverse 2, and then I deleted. I think that was mostly it. A couple other things that weren't really like that got replaced by other stuff, and then I'm waiting on. And then if I do
15 games on my Switch, so I didn't actually have to make a lot of decisions.
That's nice.
Yeah, that is. And then other than that, I feel like I after all my cuts, and I do have room to cut the Monster Hunters, but I realized like, what the chances I'm gonna play Monster Hunter Rise or Ultimate Generations anytime soon? Probably not.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So like that's 30 gigs whenever I need it, but even with all of that, I still have like only 90 gigs left, and that's a copy of Street Fighter and then like a copy of another big game. So I'm kind of sitting here going like, I really, really hope the people who make the micro SD express cards make higher capacity and more of them soon.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That would be nice.
To be fair, regular micro SD cards were hard to come by, and then the Switch got popular, and it made them cheap. And hoping a similar thing happens here. So yeah,
we'll see. Yeah,
we'll see. Yeah. So that was kind of my experience, and then we've had at this point about 5 days with the hardware itself.
Yeah.
So
I don't think I've gotten a full day's worth of playing in myself.
Well, yeah,
things.
Yeah. You're busy on the go man. Then I know that.
Yeah.
People to kill, things to do.
Right, people to kill. You would think the Switch would be ideal for it, but you know, it's
well, you got to do all your driving too. You're a real one man army here.
Yeah, you're a one man band, so you can't. If you had someone else to drive you around, maybe talk to Anthony. Yeah, that might you might
go. That's true.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm like, you got me that Jack in the Box at the Switch launch, so you really showed that you could drive good.
Yeah. Yep.
Anthony ran some errands for us because Duncan was starving and I needed trash thrown away. So he did solid. He was not buying anything in line. You know, which was good because he would also end up in Pro Controller hell. He's smart. The following day, got his Pro Controller at Costco.
That sounds like a good idea.
And actually, so I had a friend just walk into Costco, launch pay and buy one.
Oh,
so yeah.
I mean, you know, it's always the unexpected retailer that they get you. I remember during the PS5 scarcity era, you could get them at Bed Bath & Beyond relatively consistently.
Yeah, I you know, a lot of people never thought about PlayStation Direct. I ended up being able to get, like, over the course of the PS5 shortage, like 6 from me and friends from PlayStation Direct.
Mm-hmm.
So Sony thinks I own like 6 PS5s.
Right. Buying them for the homies, though.
Yeah.
The PS5 in every room.
What, you don't?
I mean, obviously I do, because Sony thinks I own 6 PS5s.
Exactly. No, it's and now you can use that as evidence.
It's true.
That you should be allowed in on all betas going forward.
Right.
Oh man, you would think.
All right. Well,
you have a chance to use the game chat. How is the game chat?
So,
I am not.
I have not had a chance to. We are going to take a look at that in a little bit because I want to. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to show up on stream. I think we're just going to test it, see if it works, and probably quickly close out.
I'm sure this is going to be a winner.
But first,
well,
I think we wanted to talk about the hardware itself. So we're talking about, we got the system, we opened it up, we got the things downloaded. How do you feel about like the actual physical item? Like, what do you think?
I like the magnets.
The magnets are actually really cool. I like them.
The magnets are good. I like how they clicky.
Yeah.
They quickly, they still wiggle a bit, but not as much.
Yeah, I like the black. I like the color.
Yes.
The color's nice.
Yeah, and the color's cool. I like the screen. I like how big it is. It's like bigger than the Steam Deck screen.
I like the poppy switch that you use to pop the controllers off. I think it's a good little switch.
That's actually really good.
Yeah.
I like the way that feels, and it works.
I mean, the UI
system
is nearly the same. And it looked good before. It looks good now.
I think that's kind of my like. It's not exactly a problem, but it's something I wish they would have done. Is like, you want to talk about like how this release for a new console has been underwhelming. I think a lot of it has to do with, look, man, they just wanted to make another updated, better Switch, and they did not rock the boat in really any aspect of that. And I wish it could have been like, I don't know, let's have some fun with the menus. Let's try some stuff.
I think they added some nice accessibility stuff, like, because you can remap buttons entirely now.
Yep.
Like you can fully remap buttons.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
That's fantastic. What a great choice. But
this screen is 4K, right? The screen overall is 4K.
So no, the screen is 1080p, but it's 120 hertz and VRR. And
So a 1080p screen that's this small feels good, while it is also much bigger than the original Switch.
And bigger than the OLED, bigger than most PC handhelds besides the Go, like the Legion Go. Like this thing is nice and thin. I will say I do like the bigger Joy-Cons. They don't hurt my hand as much when playing for a long period of time. Because I would play this thing a lot in San Francisco, where I go for Christmas. And let me tell you, playing Hades or Devil May Cry on Switch 1 Joy-Cons hurts.
Yeah, I bet.
So I actually prefer tiny controllers myself as a tiny-handed man. And I'll say that my initial impression when picking these up is they're less comfortable for me than the original Switch.
Oh, interesting.
That is very interesting, and also you would hate the Steam Deck.
How do you feel about?
Yeah, I could tell it'd be too big for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd manage. I could manage with a big controller, but
how do you feel about this
like
controller thing add-on?
I don't like it.
No.
Yeah, that thing is the.
So I don't like the hovering that it does on the side right here.
Yeah.
I don't like this hover.
So there's a reason I dislike it, but I wonder if it's the same as your reason.
I also dislike the Joy-Con. We're talking about the Joy-Con grip, right?
Yes.
That thing?
Yes.
Yeah, that thing is like, I didn't mind the original. I like the original a lot. This thing is trash.
I'm using it just fine.
I also didn't mind the original.
I'm not. I don't see much of a difference other than this hovering bit. Like when I sometimes like am putting any sort of pressure on the Joy-Cons, there's a little bit of wiggle, and it makes me wonder long term how that's gonna hold up. But otherwise, it's been fine for me.
My hand rests on this. It's this. It's that I get caught on that section.
Right.
I don't like it sitting there. I want it to be all round.
I see what you're saying. You want the Xbox.
Yeah.
That is also me. I also want it all round. that is my problem as well. So yeah, I think that's kind of an annoying part with it. I think that I love the 2 USB-C ports thing.
Yes.
The kickstand is significantly better.
Kickstand is huge.
The kickstand's a huge win for playing it like undocked and just like propping on a table.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
This is absolutely a privileged as fuck complaint, but the setup process for HDR on HDR supported monitors when docked is bad.
Okay.
It's really bad. Because if you go into the setting, and it has you set up HDR when you first get the system, but then it also has you look at a screen and go, "Is this right?" And you might not notice, but on that screen is a button to press. And there's a button to press where it allows you to adjust brightness, just to adjust the white of it to make sure you're getting 100% accurate brightness. It does not. If you're not paying attention, you will just probably hit the OK button like I did and have to be told about it. Also,
I luckily did pay attention, so I didn't have this issue.
Yeah. Also, it has the same problem the Series S and the PS5 have, where it will try to put on HDR for games that don't support HDR, and in most of them, it looks like trash.
Aww.
So,
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so be aware of that.
Yeah.
So like if you want your games to look as good as they can look, that may cause a problem.
All right. Well.
Anyway.
Yeah. Let's see. What else? Anything else hardware wise? Like it's a Switch.
I feel like a lot of the people complaining about this thing hardware, I'm like, what everyone was asking for. They solved most of the problems of the original Switch. I'm just reminded of that SpongeBob meme of just like, I want a because far more powerful. Like I've been playing Cyberpunk on it at 40 FPS. It looks great. Mario Kart and Zelda, huge upgrades. So it looks great. And I'm just reminded of that SpongeBob meme of, I don't want a more powerful, better put together Switch. Then why did you ask for it? Is what it reminds me of. So yeah.
It's whoa, what the it's
I think on net it's just been good. I've enjoyed everything about it. I just haven't used it a lot. I think I can get to some extent into the I think I can get into why I haven't used it a lot. This has been a relatively underwhelming launch for me, but not because anything about it is bad, but because I'm realizing, and I realized pretty shortly after, that I did not buy the Switch for anything that's on it. Like the only thing I really wanted was Mario Kart, and it's not for I'm gonna play a ton of Mario Kart. I'm honestly gonna play very little of this game on net. I just know I will play it a number of times over the years, because obviously Mario Kart always has a very long life cycle. I needed the last Mario Kart because I knew Exactly. Yeah, I knew I'd get to it. So I'm like, okay, well, I got to get Mario Kart. I want to play it now a bit, and I'm going to play it with friends many times as time goes on. The thing that I bought it for is that it will have stuff on it that I will want later. And so all of my impressions of it now are like, is this going to be good for what I will eventually use for it? And it probably will be. But as of now, I've got very little reason to sit here and really dive in on the Switch for me, because it's not got a lot for me.
So me, it was a case of, okay, I'm going to play Mario Kart, but I'm really like, you're waiting for Donkey Kong. And then I played Mario Kart, and this new Mario Kart shocked me with how much I've enjoyed it and how good it is. So I've just been I've been on it nonstop. Now, I think part of that is because it's been, 11 years since we got a fully new Mario Kart, but it's also because they've just done so much with this. Yeah. And then I'm a sucker for futuristic racing, so Fast Fusion being a launch title, I was very fortunate where they hit a lot of my buttons. Like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, two of the best games I've ever played. Now I can play them at the proper frame rates and resolutions. without having to go through hoops of modding, cart dumping, all that shit. And then in the case of Mario Kart, it surprised me. It was like I've used the damn thing a lot. I have run into kind of complaint of I wish the launch had more. Like I wish there was a big meaty new game. Like I wish Donkey Kong was a launch title.
Yeah,
that's kind of
I
my
agree
biggest...
that I kind of wish there was more. Because I don't have anything I'm sinking my teeth into to really be like, yeah, this console it's good. I'm glad I bought it. I will when Pokemon comes out.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you'll get to play the version of Pokemon that runs more than like 3 frames per second.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is in October. That's only 4 months away.
Good Lord.
Yeah, I kind of realized I do have a pretty packed year with the Switch 2 because I'm probably going to go back to playing my indies here, right? Because, you know, like more and more my PC is turning into a stream/work machine.
Yeah.
It's so like when I play games, it's the last place I want to be.
Especially as games are starting to get more and more powerful. I'm just like, my computer in particular, like as the stream machine, I'm just like, dude, I can't do this.
And even when me building a new computer, I'm just like I will play stuff that I really, really, really want to stream here, and competitive games and Game Pass games. But when it comes to indie games, I want to play them on a handheld. And I like having the option to hook it to my TV, which everyone's like, the Steam Deck has a dock, and I'm like, yeah, but it kind of works like shit. Not very good.
I am waiting for Noita to get ported to the Switch. I will play a ton of Noita on the Switch if it gets ported.
Kind of surprised it's not.
Well, it needs a mouse.
Well,
and so now it can be because they have a mouse.
Yeah,
I think that I am going to start tweeting and blue skying at the developers and being like, hey, let's make this happen.
Games that require mice. Let's start getting on them.
Cyberpunk has full motion controls.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend asked me like my girlfriend's like excited. They're pretty decent. Like they're like cool. They're really cool.
What do they do?
They allow you to like dodge and use some cybernetics, and then you can use the mouse or the motion controls for shooting.
Wow.
So yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And like before you turn those on, they make you do like a tutorial with them.
Sure. That makes sense.
Interesting.
They did some good work with this port. Like it runs a little bit better than the deck version in my experience so far. I'm still in the beginning of the game. And then if you want a physical version, it's all on the card. It comes with some stickers.
Yeah.
Like they went out of their way to make Switch specific control schemes.
Yeah. And it tastes better than on average.
Yeah, it definitely tasted better than Puyo Puyo Tetris. You get a video of that. If you're watching this live or the full recording, you get a video of that this Friday. If you're watching the clip show, I guess go watch that. It's out now.
They taste different.
So
I would not have bet that.
We don't know.
All right.
I'm going to be entirely honest. They didn't taste very different. None of them tasted particularly much different.
In my opinion, they taste like... they didn't taste much different besides Mario Kart. I don't know what was up with that Mario Kart cartridge. Maybe I got a better lick.
Right.
Maybe it's maybe it's just because it was like
you were affected.
Yeah. Maybe because it was just sitting in a Switch 1 for 8 years effectively. So I don't know.
Very weird. Very weird. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
Well,
I think the Mario Kart World copy we had also tasted different.
Yeah. You guys get a little spoiler of that. You guys do enjoy that little tidbit later.
That'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to that video. Well,
yeah, like I really wish Donkey Kong was a launch title.
Yeah.
Because I want like a meteor experience. Because like and granted, I've been playing Mario Kart nonstop, so most people are not going to do this within 5 days. But I've unlocked all the costumes. I've unlocked all the characters except the RNG characters. I've unlocked mirror mode, and I've 100%ed 150C Grand Prix. So I'm basically down to mirror mode and knockout tour, unless I really want to go 100% the open world, which,
You know what you could do? The challenge I've just come up with. Get onto a car on the road with the ramp on it backwards and let it take you. It's kind of hard to do.
Yeah, I am sure that this. So I've been watching a lot of gameplay of this game, or like via different means, YouTube, TikTok. Dude, this Mario Kart is going to be a speedrunner wet dream.
Ooh, all right.
This game is like there are already people they raised the skill ceiling on Mario Kart to an almost insane degree.
Okay.
I feel the micro in this game. It feels like there's depth to engage.
Yeah, what they're expecting you to do in the open world to get some of those medallions and some of those switches done is like not even a fifth of some of the stuff I've seen online. There are dudes skipping a whole ass section of the Bowser track with shortcuts. It's crazy. There are people like wall riding through entire levels. These motherfuckers looking like they're playing Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
It's crazy, dude.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good. I'm loving it. So, all right. Well,
you should go find me on stream. You should go find me.
Where you at?
Just as a background task.
Well,
I'm up to something.
Yeah. First of all, this map is so goddamn huge. I can't find you. And let me tell you right now.
Well, you can see me on the map if you open the map up.
Yeah, he's in Cheat Falls. What about you, Aaron? What's your impression on day one here? Or week one here, I should say.
Oh. Okay. It's not like overwhelming or anything. It's Mario Kart. They came out with Mario Kart. Fast Fusion's neat.
They did come out with Mario Kart.
I'm glad Fast Fusion's there. I like Wipeout, but it's not. There needed to be. I don't think this is the right word, but there could have been more. It would have been nice if there was more. It's just that Mario Kart World is Mario Kart World.
And they know that Mario Kart is like the third best-selling game of all time. So it's like, well,
it's this and Smash Bros. And Mario and Zelda and Animal Crossing. Like
it's.
Yep, and that's the list. They dominate it.
Like, I would just feel a lot better if Donkey Kong or Metroid was here. I have a feeling that Metroid is going to be their big holiday game.
Right.
That's my impression. Though they did just announce a Splatoon fucking spin-off on a Tuesday morning randomly. It's Tuesday. Like, yo, by the way, we're getting Splatoon 3 a Switch 2 update. So Splatoon 3 is gonna get a graphics overhaul.
Yes.
And yeah, dude, we should play some Splatoon this weekend.
If I had the time, I would love to do that.
I've never played Splatoon.
It's fun,
dude. You should get in on with us with some Splatoon sometime.
I get weirdly frustrated with that game because I'm so bad at it. I have no one to blame but myself.